Guys, this is Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you my UFC 139 recap and results. UFC 139 was in the HP Pavilion, live in San Jose, California. And let's get started on this as I go over the whole card, not the that prelim stuff, basically the main card. The main card kicked off with Ultimate Fighter 1 season standout, Stephan Bonnar versus the new up-and-coming Kyle Kingsbury. And really, to be honest, everyone knew that Kyle Kingsbury was probably not in the same league as Stephan Bonnar. I feel Stephan Bonnar was on a higher level than Kyle Kingsbury coming in. So I was expecting Stephan Bonnar to win. Stephan Bonnar did just that. Won the fight in impressive fashion, but really it was against a new guy. I don't really see anything big happening with Stephan Bonnar. You know, I like Stephan Bonnar's role in the UFC. He comes out here, he puts on a pretty interesting fight, and then he does his little analyst on MMA Live. I feel he does a great job for it. He's a great play-by-play guy, in my opinion. I feel every time I watch MMA Live, he just steals the show for me. He's very funny too. Stephan is a very good outside guy for MMA, and he's also a very good guy inside the octagon against kind of similar talents that are up and coming or rising stars. You know, he's a good guy to put against him because you know you're going to get a good fight. This was an okay fight though. First two rounds, you know, it was kind of action-packed. In the third round, Stephan Bonnar he was trying so hard to finish the fight, but ended up not the story. So pretty much that's it. Speaking of stories, by the way, Rick Story fought Martin Kampmann in a pretty nice fight between both these two. I very enjoyed it. And sadly enough, Rick Story could not tell his story because he lost by split decision by Martin Kampmann, but very well earned split decision. You know, me personally, I thought Martin Kampmann did win. I thought Martin Kampmann landed more important shots. I thought Martin Kampmann controlled the octagon a lot more better than Rick Story, especially in that third round. I thought Martin Kampmann did a really good job. So I'm not really mad about the decision. You know, it was a split decision. Could have gone either way, but I had Martin Kampmann winning. But good job for Kampmann. You know, Kampmann needed this win. He just came off a BS decision loss to Diego Nightmare Sanchez, or The Dream. I'm sorry, Diego fans. Won't insult him by calling him his old nickname. He's the Dream now. But Rick Story, he's so young, he's still learning, and he's one of the great stories in the UFC. I mean, he beat #1 contender Thiago Alves, and now Alves is fighting on free card TV shows now. He's not even on main cards that much anymore. You know, this is just a great story for him, and he's going to keep riding this train and learn from all these losses. You know, just because he lost to a guy like Martin Kampmann, who's that threshold gate for that welterweight division, in my opinion, doesn't mean that, oh my god, Rick Story is done in the UFC. So, to be honest, Rick Story has a huge career left ahead of him, and I cannot wait to see what more this kid can produce, because he's a very good standout in that welterweight division, especially in that young talent pool area. But yeah, congratulations, Martin Kampmann. Next up, we get my boy Uriah Faber, California Kid, the California Kid. That's right, baby. Uriah Faber, fighting in California, defeats Brian Balls via guillotine choke in the second round. First round, you know, Uriah Faber looked good in that one. Brian Balls hit some nice couple shots there. But then in the second round, Uriah Faber just owned Brian Balls. And this was a fight, being a Faber fan, I was looking at this and I was saying, this is a very hard fight for Uriah Faber style-wise to really go against. I mean, Brian Balls just has that right hand, almost like a Henderson-like right hand in that smaller weight class division, in that bantamweight division. His right hand can hit and you can go like knocked out. But Uriah Faber, you know, he had a game strategy. He looked at how he places that right hand, hit him with those uppercuts, and he just got the win here in a decisive factor. And this is what I was thinking to myself. If Uriah Faber really wants to put the claim that I deserve a shot at the bantamweight title again and face Dominic Cruz for the third time and make a trilogy, I have to win in this. He would have to win in decisive factor. That's what I was thinking in my head, because I love Faber and all, and if he would have won, Dana White, regardless, just because of how much money he draws for the UFC and how big of a name this kid is and how marketable he is, he would have given him the title shot nonetheless. But I was thinking in my mind, for people to actually think Uriah Faber is ready and Uriah Faber is legit for real, could be next in line for the bantamweight title, he would have to win in a decisive factor. Uriah Faber did that. The California Kid is walking out, and he's going to face Dominic Cruz, and I cannot wait for that trilogy battle between those two. Great fights. Go check out the second fight. Definitely a Fight of the Year candidate. Not my Fight of the Year. Fight of the Year candidate nonetheless. Next up, we get the Axe Murderer, Wanderlei Silva versus Kung Lee. Oh, baby. This fight, what can I say more about it? It was exciting. Between Kung Lee's crazy kicks and Wanderlei Silva fighting through adversity, God, what a good fight. You know, I enjoyed the hell out of this. And Wanderlei Silva wins by knockout. Axe Murderer fans get what they want. And Joe Rogan, shut the fuck up. Joe Rogan, if you guys did not know, was all like, that's a bad stoppage. I thought it was a bad stoppage. Kung Lee had the single leg. Joe Rogan, are you fucking retarded? You dumbass. Didn't you see Jake Shields, which is Jake Ellenberger? I'm pretty sure Jake Shields was still going through the takedown. And Jake Ellenberger knocked him out. And it was still counting as a knockout. So I could have said that was a bad stoppage. But no, that was a good stoppage to you. Even though Jake Shields was still doing the takedown. Yeah, you're fucking smart, Joe Rogan. Settle the fuck down. Stop acting like it's a bad stoppage. We get it. You love Kung Lee. This is how the UFC commentators are, and I hate it sometimes. When the UFC commentators get new guys coming to the UFC, they jizz all over them, and they fucking make us believe that they are, oh my god, we have to love these fighters. Oh my god, this guy lost in a bad way. You know, every time their new guy loses, they always jizz over these new fighters they bring in. Kung Lee, he's been fighting in Strikeforce for a long time. This was his UFC debut, and once again, the UFC commentators did it. Fucking jizz all over him, talk about his kicks, talk about how he's one of their favorite fighters. Don't be biased towards it. Wanderlei knocked the shit out of Kung Lee. Kung Lee was just laying there, holding the leg for support, hammer fist to the head. He was not doing shit to hit the single leg. He was not doing shit. So shut up, Joe Rogan, when you say bad stoppage. I get it. You're probably more of a professional than I am, but in my opinion, if you want to freaking sound smarter, don't say that. It makes you sound bad, and it makes people take away from the victory that Wanderlei Silva just got. Wanderlei Silva got a victory. Be happy for it. Unless it's a clear bad stoppage, you say it. Unless it's clear as day, where someone's getting hit and then they're doing this, and someone's hitting there, and so the referee stops it. That's a bad stoppage. Mini rant there, but pisses me off. Wanderlei Silva, congratulations. You're saying in the UFC, Kung Lee. Well, I'm going to talk about you in later in my video, but next up we got the main event between Shogun Rua versus Dan Henderson, and the commentator saying the greatest fight in UFC history. Not really, no. But a solid main event that was very entertaining. Not the greatest fight in UFC history. Very, very entertaining fight between both Dan Henderson and Shogun Rua. Both, I don't know what's up with Shogun. Can Shogun fans please explain to me, after you're done bitching that Shogun should have won the fight, how come is it that Shogun Rua always comes out some fights where he has like a six-pack, you can tell that he's been working out hard, you know, he looks conditioned and well good for the fight, and other fights he just comes out looking like myself, you know, fat in the stomach, has those little titties hanging out, you know, straight up, what is up with Shogun Rua? He always comes balanced up and down, up and down. Can Shogun Rua be consistent? Someone tell me after you guys are done bitching about Shogun losing the fight. You guys don't know what happened. Dan Henderson won the fight. Dan Henderson, I believe, in the first 3 rounds won, and then Shogun Rua won the last 2 rounds. And please, I get it, people are going to say, that was a 10-8 round by Shogun. Well, Dan Henderson got a 10-8 round in the first one of the first 3 rounds. Yeah, pretty much I gotta say about that. But it was a very solid, entertaining fight. Showed a lot of things in mixed martial arts for many new people. You know, exciting knockouts where it's like, oh my god, is this fight going to end? Or these takedowns, crazy crucifix positions, crazy submission attempts. You know, it was a very, very solid fight. Not the greatest fight in UFC history, in my opinion, but a very solid fight and very entertainable. Time to give out some awards. My MVP of the night, none other than the California kid, Uriah Faber. You know, I thought Uriah Faber, he did a very, very good job tonight. He proved most of his doubters wrong. There's still going to be Uriah Faber haters. I know that. Knowing the MMA community for a while, there's always going to be haters on them. But Uriah Faber, to me, I felt did really good, looked impressive throughout the whole night. Fought a guy in Brian Bowles who many were saying he was the true contender to the bantamweight division. Finished him decisively via submission. I felt that's a MVP in my case. And then the loser of the night, freaking Kung Lee. Kung Lee had Wanderlei Silva hurt in the first round. Could have finished it, but no, Kung Lee decides, oh, I gotta get a highlight reel knockout. I'm gonna do a spinning kick. Come Lee, finish the damn fight. No one cares about your spinning kick. We see that in your highlights already. You would have been cool. You would have beat Wanderlei Silva. You would be 9-1. You would be partying in your hometown, hitting up with Channing Tatum and his wife, and bam. You know, you would have been living the high life right there. But instead, you decide to, I gotta hit a kick. You miss, giving Wanderlei time to come basically back to his senses and then win the fight in the second round. You basically gave Wanderlei the win because you didn't want to finish him right there. If I'm facing Wanderlei Silva, I want to finish him as fast as possible. My fight of the night, very hard. It's between Wanderlei and Kun Lee versus, and also the Shogun and Henderson fight. But really and honestly, I thought Shogun and Henderson, even though that they had those points where they were kind of like gassed out, you know, I thought it was still entertaining. It showed a lot of the things that makes it this sport called mixed martial arts. There was a lot of mixed action in here that was very entertaining. And yes, they were gassed out, but guys, you gotta understand, they were throwing bombs every 2 seconds. Wouldn't you be freaking tired if they were throwing bombs like straight up? They were just like oh god, they were just throwing bombs like crazy. But nonetheless, fight of the night for me, Kun Lee and Wanderlei Silva, enjoyable fight, more fast paced. But to be honest, if I'm looking as a mixed martial arts fan, I like that Wanderlei Silva and I like that Dan Henderson Shogun Rua action. So pretty much, Shogun Rua fans are gonna hate me. It's okay, because you guys can subscribe above for more MMA content and whatever content you guys like from my channel. Comment down below your thoughts on the fight. And if you're a Shogun Rua fan, gonna be a little keyboard typer, go for it. I'm ready for y'all. H-bombs coming your way, babies. Follow me on Twitter, PSN and Xbox Live gamer tag on there if you guys want to talk to me on Xbox. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much that's about it. Chase Oliver 68 here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Signing out.